Okay, so spoiler warning. Obviously, if you've seen or listened to any of these before, obviously we go through a little recap, and then obviously we go to the classroom for a little bit of a discussion of theories and stuff. I'm sure Bradley Moore, as always, will lead the discussion on theories and stuff because he's the Marvel expert here.
He is that and Destiny. He knows it all. He's our oracle.
He is the oracle. So this was episode 6, and it was called the all-new Halloween Spooktacular. It was sitcom set in the 90s, which clearly by Malcolm in the Middle, which was it was the first one where I kind of got it straight away. The others I had to look it up.
Same.
It was kind of like, this is so cool. And I guess it's like the first one where it's kind of a bit of a nostalgia now because obviously we were brought up in the 90s.
Yeah,
and we
actually fucking watch this one.
Yeah, it was actually really, really good. And the tropes and stuff that they do from the 90s where you got the kind of the bad uncle kind of in the thing. And it kind of made me think like there's so many sitcoms where there's always the bad uncle or the older brother that was always the bad influence on the other one. So that was a really, really good. So it kind of kicks off with them wearing their 90s costumes. So the comic book costumes, Wanda's wearing a red outfit and Vision's in his green outfit, which is it's quite clever how they've got that into the show because they're so silly and camp now, isn't it? It's kind of just you just wouldn't ever see that in the thing. It's like a 60s Batman kind of thing, so you would never really see that. But
oh look, he's watching it, cheeky bastard.
Oh look, he's watching it right now.
Watching on his tablet.
Yeah. Should we just show up and then we just show you it rather than me doing the recap? It's probably a little bit better. But yeah, Vision continues to be a little bit unruly and doesn't really want to take part in the sitcom anymore. He kind of he's not bothered going trick-or-treating with the others. And he kind of goes off on his own and pretends that he's on a patrol for the neighborhood. Pedro, he comes up with his 90s costume as well. So he's got the Quicksilver outfit, which I thought was quite funny with the Wolverine hair and stuff. And he's also got I can't remember what his name was now. Is it Billy, who's going to be Speed? He's also in the little outfit as well. Then it kind of jumps to the real world with the sword director, Hayward, who's clearly going to be the bad guy now, which I hope there's going to be a little bit more to him, like he's secretly someone else or something like that, because it's kind of a little bit of a boring villain. It's just the director, the guy.
Just a bloody suit, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a little
man.
bit. Exactly. So I hope there's a little bit more behind what his character is. Hopefully that gets revealed. And Monica kind of has a little bit of a debate with him, and he decides to kick out Monica, Darcy, and Jimmy from the little camp. I don't know what Jimmy and Darcy have anything to do with the argument, but they got slung along with her, and they decided to kind of go on their own and trying to fix the situation because Hayward is thinking about kind of a backup plan, isn't he? Really, like a contingency plan for Wanda, which I don't think is kind of that bad. Like I feel like they should kind of be discussing, like maybe we should take her down if things go wrong. She is kind of taking a whole town hostage at this stage. You know, I don't think that should be kind of spoken about at this point. But
it's not nice.
Yeah. Like if you can get her out peacefully, but she doesn't look like she wants to come out peacefully from the last episode. So maybe they should start thinking about how can we actually take her out. Darcy kind of goes through the files of Hayward's and discovers that they got the blood work for Monica, and monocles have apparently been changed or manipulated by going through the hex field, as they're calling it, which I think is a tease to how they're probably going to start introducing X-Men and Fantastic Four, and that mutants are a thing and that your monocles and your cells can change and you get powers. Because I did a little looking up of her character, and she's actually Photon, which is a superhero in Marvel. So she's probably going to become Photon probably by the end of this series, which a little bit of a spoiler. And she can change shape. She can go invisible. She can change her appearance. She can go through false fields. She can shoot energy bolts. She can fly. So that's kind of Photon's powers.
Going for, isn't she?
Yeah. She's
good CV.
Yeah, she's kind of
I'd hire her.
Imagine she's going to be trained by Captain Marvel in the future. I can see that happening in Captain Marvel 2 or something like that. But so yeah, Darcy decides to stay to dig through a bit more of I was going to say shield there, but it's not shield, it's swords, fireworks and paperwork, sorry. And Monica and Jimmy go off to meet her contact, and there's some interesting theories who that contact is. which we can obviously discuss afterwards. Then it kind of cuts back to the sitcom, and Wanda and Pedro are going trick-or-treating with the kids. And Wanda questions Pedro why he looks different and like how he got here and stuff. And he kind of said he remembers being shot in the road, which obviously was actually how he died, or the MCU version died from Ultron. And that he heard her calling him and he came running to her. So it's kind of interesting that he's got the memories of the MCU person, although he's not the MCU character. And she doesn't really know how he got here and stuff. Then it kind of goes to Vision, who's wandering to the outskirts of the dome and of the kind of the town. And it seems like everybody's like a mannequin and a bit frozen, or maybe Wanda's powers are a little bit limited and there's a little bit people on the loop. And you've got that woman who's trying to hang up the clothing and stuff. Is a little bit freaky, a little bit X-Files, a little bit spooky. Then he sees Agnes, who's his neighbor, at the junction in a car. And he kind of takes her out of the illusion like he did with the co-worker who worked the week before. And she kind of tells him that he's an Avenger and he's Vision. He recognizes his name, but he doesn't know who the Avengers are. And obviously she tells him that he's dead, which he freaks out a little bit. And he tries to escape the dome. And he's as he's attempting to escape the dome, he's obviously crumbling away and stuff. And that's when Jimmy gets his telepathic powers, which is the boy in it, and he hears his dad Vision kind of in pain and dying and stuff, and he tells his mum, and his mum gets a little bit ready-eyed again, and she expands the zone, so he's back in it again and covering some of the base that Sword had, turning them into like a carnival and clowns and stuff, which I thought was quite amusing. Darcy's now been sucked into the dome as well now, so. I think that's how the episode ends. Kind of the shortest version of recap. There's so much that happens in the episodes. It's kind of hard to keep these things short as possible. But yeah, what did you think of the episode, Ash and Brad? Ash, do you kick off?
I thought it was I'll go for it. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed this one from start to finish. I like when first thing I noticed how corny it turns out American 90s sitcoms were. Back in the
absolutely.
Day,
yeah.
Like with Malcolm in the Middle, because it was bang on. That's what it was like, the way they used to cut from scene to scene.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that really was corny. But I like when he come down the stairs and she was like, "Oh, you were in that uniform," and he's like, "This is the only one that was in my closet." And then you're like, "Oh, he knows what's going on," and then he's like, "Oh, but I love it," and that's him playing. I think he's completely conscious now. There's no messing about. He knows exactly what's going on.
Absolutely.
That's what annoyed me actually. Sorry to interrupt, but it's like he does know what's going on, because you feel like he sort of got that from the last episode, but then like he was still questioning what's his neighbor called,
Agnes.
Like the way he was talking to Agnes and was like, and we're looking at the people that were frozen. It was like he was still trying to work it out. I'm like, come on, mate, you know this ain't right.
Yeah. I think he's trying to tiptoe around it because I think he knows how volatile she is. Because I think he's still fully aware of her powers and all that, but everything else he's not remembered. Because I think partly she's letting him to remember what he needs to remember. Obviously, she's not going to let him remember he's dead. So I think that might be what it is. Because he's still trying to piece it all together. But
obviously, she's still controlling him to some extent because she's animated him. She's bringing him to life. So her powers are obviously in him, because obviously you see what happens when he leaves the dome. He starts crumbling and dying again. So
but
there must be some.
It was like he was acting like as if he still wasn't sure if something was up. But it's like, well, you've already established that something's clearly up because you just went into someone's mind who changed and then put them back again. He had to do it again to like, right, let's do this again just to double check. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's strange how the black neighbor they've got, the big guy, I can't remember his name. It's the way he said, "Do you want me to change this?" Like he's fully aware, whereas a lot of the neighbors don't seem to know what's going on, but he seems to be fully aware that.
Yeah, he was dressed as a Frankenstein, wasn't he?
That's it. Yeah, he's like, he knows what's going on. He's like, "Do you need me to change this?" And she's like, "No, it's fine." And he's like, "Okay," and he just wanders off. So I thought that was good. That was an interesting little thing. Another thing I thought was really interesting was, what's their neighbor called? The woman one. She's got a really big smile. What's her name?
Agnes,
yeah. when she was in the car, when she was in the car, she was dressed as a witch, which I thought was interesting.
She was, yeah.
And also when she started laughing, I think it's just a little Easter egg, but she was laughing like a witch as well. And then he finally turns her back to.
There's huge nods that she is the character that obviously Bradley Seeley mentioned a few times, that she is the witch, the Agnes witch, and the one that teaches. But I don't know if she's fully the person that's done this, or she's being controlled as well. There is some, and that's why I'm hoping that. Yeah, maybe it's just an Easter egg, but I feel like there must be a little bit more to her character. And I don't think Wanda was the one that sent her brother and obviously recasted him. I think it's someone else, and that's why he's asking her a lot of question of like, how did you do this? Because he asked her in the thing, like, how did you do this? And he's asking a lot of questions and stuff, and she's a little bit confused of how he got there and why he looks different. And they even joked that, where's your accent? Because it's quite weird that they had an accent and they didn't have an accent, and she has the accent. But and that's why I'm kind of hoping there's a little bit more to that Hayward, because it's like he's such a boring villain. I hope he's actually some kind of super villain that's in disguise, or some kind of devil. I've heard like people say he's I can't remember what the devil's name is now, but there is a character in Marvel that could do all this, and he manipulates people and does these things, and it could easily be him. But I don't know if it is or not. But yeah, no, it'd be really interesting. Another thing I kind of thought about, because him being dressed as Frankenstein and stuff, and when Agnes said it in the car, and she said, "Oh no, am I dead too? Because you're dead." That made me think, is everybody dead? Like everybody in that thing, are they not alive? And is that why originally there was no children? Because there was children in this episode, and there was never any children before.
Yeah, and she kind of bypasses that, doesn't she? Because he's like, "Look, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying," because like she thinks he's going to have a go at her brother, and he's like, "I'm not judging you. I'm just saying there's lots of children around here. They wasn't here before. I like the way you're doing things."
Yeah,
so that was quite interesting. Yeah, maybe. But then again, you saw that woman crying, so they're obviously, which was quite horrible, really, because they must still be in control of their mind to an extent, but they can't move and it seems like you said exactly that. It seems like what you said. Her power's limited, so wherever she is, she's controlling that area. And if she goes away from people, they kind of just get stuck in a loop of what they're doing.
And they have clearly some conscious that they're being controlled. Like we saw last week's episode with the co-worker, when the Vision broke him out, it was like, oh my god, she's controlling me. So they're aware they're being controlled, they just can't do anything about it. I thought it was quite nice, a little nod to Kick-Ass in the trick-or-treating thing when they mentioned Kick-Ass, which both the actors, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who obviously was the original Kick-Ass, and also this version, Evan Peters, they were both in the film Kick-Ass. So I thought that was quite a little clever little nod to that. But yeah, no, I'm really loving the show. Obviously, we've said that a few times now, but I can't wait to watch the next episode. My theories were another kind of thing was like, no, when I said last week, they've got to bring in someone big now to end all this, because it's like, why have you not called another superhero in? You're clearly outgunned here with Wanda. She's so powerful. And I think the rumors are the contact that Monica's going to go get is Reed Richards, because he works with force fields and stuff, which is obviously will tease obviously Fantastic Four and stuff. It'll be pre him getting his powers and stuff, and it makes sense that the tie-ins with him with Shield, obviously Shield being the space alien stuff, and obviously has how they get their powers is going up to space. So it would make sense, and they would be around the same age and stuff, because I think she's I don't know what she is, 30, 40, whatever she is. So because I think she was like 10, 11 in Captain Marvel, and that was in the 90s, and obviously she's now grown up, so she would be around the same age as him. So it would make sense that she was through like all the training, like with Sword with him and stuff, and that's how they know each other. And he's like part of the Sword, and he's broken away. And obviously we saw the cut scene or the post-credit scene of Spider-Man of the Baxter building. So, and obviously we know we're getting the Fantastic Four movie, so I can totally see it being him.
Did you see the Fantastic Four on the cinema as well? In that there was a scene where they're walking away.
I saw it said The Incredibles. I didn't see the Fantastic Four. Oh, that's clever.
What in this episode? You mean?
Yeah, unless I've got that wrong, and it said The Incredibles.
You said The Incredibles and Parent Trap was on the cinema.
Wrong, then. Yeah.
That would have been good.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, The Incredibles, and Parent Trap, yeah. Right. So yeah, which I think is a nod to, I guess, Incredibles, Super Family, and then Parent Trap is body swapping. Maybe the two Pedros swapping bodies, maybe. But yeah,
that's the other interesting thing. Oh, sorry, no, go on.
No, go for a minute.
I was just going to say about when you actually saw that he looked like he was dead as well. So that makes you think, has his corpse been brought there, and she's animating that as well as the Vision, which is interesting.
I don't think she's brought him back.
No,
I don't think she's conscious that she brought him back. I think someone else brought him back, and I think
at the end of the last episode, she was surprised, wasn't she, to see him?
Yeah, she was super surprised.
Yeah, and she even asked him.
Yeah, and even the character who Kat Dennings plays says she's recast him, so even they're aware. So that's just completely confusing, which I like that though, because I'm looking forward to finding out what's happened there. As much most people.
How many more episodes are there?
I think there's 8 or 9. So I think we've got 2 or 3 more left now. Cool. So I'm sure they're going to try and keep the many secrets as possible. My only worry, because there's so many possibilities and so many things, it's like, can they finish this with a really good ending? Because we're near the end now, and it's like, are they going to get this right? Do you know what I mean? It's going to be so difficult to get this with a really good conclusion that is really satisfying, because they're opening it up to this massive thing, and then we're thinking, oh, Fantastic Four, more X-Men, Avengers are going to come in, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't end for some reason. Do you know what I mean? So
it's like Lost. Did you watch Lost, didn't you?
I didn't.
No. It's like the writing was so good all the way through, like that everything was just brilliant and brilliant. It's like they can never end this, and it's like,
they couldn't.
They did.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully they can. Marvel are pretty well. They haven't let us down up to now, have they? Really, with
they
much
tied
things.
All those films up. So
what films?
All the Marvel films. They tied all them up really well. So
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, they're so good. Marvel stuff is so good. It makes it a shame that Disney can't get Star Wars the same. So hopefully now, fingers crossed. But anyway, I think that's enough for this week. So yeah, thanks for watching or listening, guys. This was episode 35. So yeah, like Brad said before, if you obviously want to like and subscribe to the podcast, we really, really appreciate your support. So yeah, please do. Obviously, we've got a video version. For some reason, you want to look at us. I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can do. If not, just listen to our voices on podcast platforms. See, I got it right that time, right at the end. There you go. Until next week. Bye, guys.
See ya.